Hello everybody and welcome back to CM42 TV for yet another Blu-ray collection update video. Yes, this one is for May of 2019. Can you believe we're in May already, nearly halfway through the year? Mind blowing. Again, much like last month's update April, in case you don't know the order of the months. April's update was very sort of random and kind of uneventful, much like May, much like this month. Very sporadic in terms of my buying movies this month, and I think that's a good thing. I managed to get some things out of Poundland, which is always lovely, always very handy having Poundland there, just to get them so cheap. It's movies that I would happily buy and happily add to the collection, however that I would not jump out my way to spend a usual amount of money for. As you'll see, the ones I picked up, I've kind of went, yep, I'll have that one for the £2 that they're on sale in Poundland, which doesn't really make much sense. But I'm not here to complain. Movies at £2 is not something you can complain about. So the first one that I picked up from Poundland is Argo, which won Best Picture in I think 2013, either 2012 or 2013, I can't really remember at this particular moment, which I don't like. I don't like not remembering. It needs to be up there. Anytime a film wins Best Picture, right, or anything like a lot of awards, a Golden Globe, this chair is squeaking like mad. What was I saying? Yeah, so anytime a film wins Best Picture or wins any, big award, a Golden Globe or a BAFTA or anything like that, like I always feel like they're easily judged. People are like, I need to see them to get my own opinion, and then when they're watched, they're like, alright, let's see what the big deal's all about. Argo was one that just completely passed me by. Like I knew it won, and I was happy to go, oh, I've never seen that before, I'm interested to see that. I like Ben Affleck and Bryan Cranston, Alan Arkin, John Goodman, 4 really good actors. And yeah, when you see a film like this in Poundland or even like CEX or a second-hand shop at a cheap price, and it's always kind of been in your head, you wanted to see it and you like the actors or whatever, you're happily going to add it to your collection and pick it up. So over the moon to have Argo finally, and maybe at some point I will actually get to check it out. So looking forward to that one. Argo won Best Picture a number of years ago, can't remember which one, but yeah, can't go wrong with Ben Affleck and Bryan Cranston, John Goodman and all that crew. So yeah, for £2, can't go wrong, Argo. Next up is a film that I have seen before. That was my rule, by the way, if people have been tuning in all this time. I always said if I'm going to buy a movie, it has to be one that I've either been dying to see or that I've seen before, that I know is good and that I've approved of and added it to my collection. So when I buy these random films that I've done this month as well, when I buy these random films and stuff, I've done it for the past number of months. I'm kind of being lenient with myself, breaking my own rules, but I'm just hoping that they're going to be good. And usually the ones I buy are good because I've heard they're good and stuff, but I don't like to take those chances in case I just don't like them or whatever. I don't really want them in my collection, I suppose. This is an approved selection of films. This one is approved. It's one I've seen before, but not in a long time. A hilarious movie, Horrible Bosses. It's widely regarded as one of people's favourite modern comedies and stuff. An amazing cast of very, very funny people. But it's just one of those ones, again, that I completely forgot about. I seen it in 2011, 12, whenever it came out or whatever, and I remember really enjoying it. I found it really funny, but I remember thinking it wasn't as funny as people said it was. And ever since that time, you still hear about it, you still, listen to all the people talking about how funny it is and stuff and how it's one of their favourites. So when you hear that and you're kind of going, alright, you kind of want to give it a second chance, and I'm very bad at that, but good at that as well. But I like to give movies second chances. I like to watch things more than once because I think your opinion is totally jaded the first time you see it. You're completely judging it. You're completely blind to it. You need to watch it more than once to truly get your opinion. You know what I mean? To understand how you feel about that particular film, you need to watch it more than once. That's just my way of thinking. So it makes me very interested to check this out again. For £2. Very happy. I love Jennifer Aniston, of course. Jason Bateman's funny. Charlie Day's hilarious. Jason Sudeikis is hilarious. Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx, Colin Farrell. An amazing star-studded cast. And looking forward to checking it out again. So Horrible Bosses, there we go. Up next is another comedy, a very modern comedy. 2016, I believe, 16 or 17. And I remember at the time watching this film and absolutely loving it, right? And then just, people said they enjoyed it and stuff, and every so often it would come up, but it just kind of got forgotten about. And that is Central Intelligence. The Rock and Kevin Hart are two of my favourite performers in the world, right? Actors, comedians, wrestlers, whatever, entertainers in the world, right? Kevin Hart is one of my favourite wrestlers. And any film with The Rock in it, I'm going to love and I'll go see regardless, and I'll happily buy. Actually, last summer, I thought about starting a Dwayne Johnson movie collection. and just have like a whole section of my movies just to rock films, just because it's him and because I love him and he's like a hero of mine, I suppose. Not a hero, but like someone you look up to. So, but then there's so many like random films that either weren't that good, that I've never seen, that I have no interest in seeing. Ones that are like big blockbusters that I've maybe seen once and enjoyed, but maybe wouldn't watch again. I don't know, but I'm still thinking about it. But that was last summer. I went to Orlando, and when I was thinking about it, I went into Orlando and I went to a Walmart. And in the Walmart, there was a Dwayne Johnson section. Like, there was a whole section of DVDs with Central Intelligence and Skyscraper and all these other films. And I also had the wrestling ones. I had the Monday Night War set, I had the Most Electrifying Man set, I had WrestleMania 28, like I had all these rock, like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff in the rock section. So maybe it's something to think about, but that was a long time ago, and now we're talking about Central Intelligence. Stay on topic. I remember loving this film. I think, you know, I remember thinking it was really funny, I remember thinking it was like charming and sweet and stuff, and I remember like my lecturers at college being like very pleasantly surprised by this film. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Nice, funny, a relief. It's an action film as well, you know. I can't really remember everything that goes on, but I mean, I remember loving it. I remember anything with Kevin Hart and The Rock I'm going to adore anyway, like Jumanji and things like that. I love that as well. So yeah, Central Intelligence. I literally thought about buying this a part of a 3 for 20 deal or on its own before, just because I liked it so much at the time, and I just don't understand why films like this get such a hard time. They're not there to do anything other than to entertain you, make you laugh a wee bit, and take your mind off things. And it does that perfectly. Central Intelligence. The next one is a very interesting one, because the only reason I picked this up was because of the slipcover, the biggest reason because it just looks cool. But I also remember enjoying it back in the day when I was younger, 2003 or 4 or whenever it came out, and always having it in my head that I liked it. And then they remade it, like in 2015, and it just got the worst reviews ever. And that put me off the whole franchise. I didn't even see the film, but just the amount of bad press that it got and the amount of slack it took on my podcast, the Good Bit podcast, which you can listen to now on Spotify and Apple Podcast and all those other places. And here on CM42 TV. It got such a bad report, and I was thinking I'm not going to watch that, but I remember enjoying the original back in 2004, and that is the Fantastic Four. Yes, this slipcover is really cool. There you go, and it comes out there as the original Blu-ray there. You got a young Captain America, Chris Evans, which is very, very funny. The Fantastic Four was a big deal back when I was younger. Like, it was one of those big films along with Batman and The Dark Knight and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films and all those things before the MCU that were like these superhero films to enjoy. Like, everybody loved Fantastic Four, and then that remake came along and I couldn't believe the press it got. It put me off watching it, but maybe I should watch it at some point to again get my own opinion. I might end up enjoying it, but I'm hearing rumblings that they might end up doing another one to kind of justify and rectify the mess they made in 2015 or whenever it was. But really happy to have the original, or at least the one of my childhood from like 04. That I grew up watching with The Thing and Human Torch and stuff like that. I know Rise of the Silver Surfer I liked as well, but I don't think I liked it as much. And again, it was another one that I'd probably need to watch again. But I'm looking forward to checking this out again, especially now we're in a world post-MCU and we know how a superhero film is supposed to look like and how it's supposed to be done. It'll be funny kind of judging that next to Iron Man and Captain Marvel and even the Avengers films. So Fantastic Four, very happy to have it, especially for that really cool slipcover and a video just finished rendering. Ta-da! Sticking with the sort of superhero theme, Marvel sort of theme, we have the Wolverine, which I've never been the biggest X-Men film fan. I've never been the biggest X-Men fan. I've always enjoyed them and stuff, but it's never been something that's completely jumped off the page at me. But again, I was like that for the Marvel films and the MCU films before I went to see them properly and then sort of fell in love with them. But maybe that's one, especially because Dark Phoenix is right around the corner as well, maybe they're ones to catch up on. But anyway, I remember going to see this one as a standalone and really, really enjoying it. This is the film that introduced me to Hugh Jackman properly, because I knew he was in obviously the original X-Men and stuff like that. I knew him from then and any other films he'd been in. But because this is like his film, you know, the Wolverine, this is his, and it's a really interesting film. It's like really good, there's some funny parts, there's like really violent at times as well, and this slipcover is really cool as well. And it's such a Blu-ray movie collector mind frame. If the slipcover is alright, there's a better chance you're going to get it. And this has 3 discs in it. I think that's the original there. There's the extras and the 3D version. I don't have a 3D player, but it's always nice to know it's there. Yeah, another one that was in Poundland, why not, is cool. Happy to have it. Now, so those are my Poundland pickups, very happy with them. Then I went to FOPP, which is a DVD store that is in some way related to HMV, I'm not sure. I've always thought it was related to HMV just because the way it's kind of laid out and, you know, the way that the sort of prices are on the DVDs and the deals you kind of get. But then other times I go in and it's totally different, like it's just a different atmosphere and like the prices are either the total opposite of what is in HMV or it's like £1 difference more expensive in FOPP than it is in HMV. So it's really weird. But what I love about FOPP, the one I go to, is that the upstairs level is like all the sort of collector's editions and all the sort of expert editions. When you've got like Criterions and Arrow videos and Arrow Academy and BFIs and all these things and films from all over the world, and there's sections of like international films, like there's French films and Italian films and German films and whatever. So I was looking at the Asian films because I was watching a documentary about Jackie Chan, and he was talking about all the sort of inspirations he had in his life and stuff, and Jackie Chan's one of my favourite actors and one of my favourite performers of all time, just through sort of his American films and stuff. I've never really sat down and watched like one of his films that are dubbed in English, you know, that or even has like the subtitles or whatever. So because of that documentary, it put me really in the mood to see one of them, and I saw this in FOPP and it looked awesome, and I thought I'll pick it up, and it is Dragon Fist. I heard of this recently, I can't remember how, but then of course talking about it in like his documentaries and stuff, it was like a sort of, I can't remember what it was was some form of like interview thing on YouTube. I think if you just type in Jackie Chan documentary, it's one of the first ones to come up. I was just in the mood to watch some Jackie Chan stuff, but yeah, limited edition slipcover, always a collector's thing, but it looks really cool. It's like it's from 1978 or something, like a very early film for him, but it just looks great. It's one of those ones that blind buy, I know, but I'm quite good at that. I think I kind of, if I like the look of it, I can buy it and I can enjoy it. I've done that recently, or a few months ago, with a film called, here it's here, The Naked City, and it just looks amazing. And I watched it, and it's a film noir, it's black and white, and it's just like, it's kind of hard to sit through, but like I really enjoyed it just because it was different. It's like something completely fresh and different to me anyway, to what I'm used to. So I feel like I'm going to enjoy this as well. I watched Enter the Dragon recently with Bruce Lee, and that's like dubbed in English. That's really, really weird, and I really, really enjoyed that film. It became one of my favourite films I've watched this year. So hopefully we're kind of along the lines of that, but instead of being dubbed in English, we've got subtitles, which it's a new challenge. I don't do subtitles very often, so very excited to check that out. But then also, when I was in FOPP, this was, I think it was $4.99 or something. It was a great deal, and it's a DVD. And I was thinking as well, I was looking at all the DVDs in FOPP and in the sort of different sections of the generations of films, like old school theatre and modern films and all the foreign films and all the Disney films, great Disney section. I just like, obviously the Blu-rays look great on the shelf and stuff, and they're like kind of the way to go in the 4Ks and stuff, but I'm kind of miss buying DVDs. Like they look really cool on the shelf and like just all in the shops, like all the DVDs look really cool. I don't know, maybe it's because they're bigger and there's more space on them, I don't know, but I kind of like the way they look, and I was just looking through them, and then I saw this, Seven Samurai, which is like a film that you hear a ridiculous amount about, right, through YouTube and through Letterboxd and IMDb and movie lists, movie critics and everything. That it's sort of inspiring lots of other sort of fighting films and Asian sort of films. Simply one of the greatest films ever made, said The Telegraph, whenever that was. But it is from Akira Kurosawa, another name you hear, a legendary filmmaker. And I always said I'd want to watch this just because I've always heard some of my friends talk about it and how much they love it. And I've always said I wanted to watch it. And I just never said, it's like 4 hours long or something. It's obviously in Japanese with subtitles. So I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm going to pay a great amount of money for this, I might not like the subtitle idea. I might not like the film. I don't like long films. I don't like sitting through long films. But as a film fan and as a film buff, I suppose, a film critic, I suppose, I've got this channel in my podcast, I suppose I'm a film critic to some extent. Maybe, you know, I should maybe see films like this, a film that is so highly regarded and is looked at as a classic. I should need to watch it at some point. So for $4.99 on DVD, when I was kind of like, these DVDs look really cool here, I'm going to buy a DVD. I bought Seven Samurai. I'm going to watch it soon. And when I do, I'll do a wee movie vlog. I'll let you know my progress. And I'll let you know what I think and how I take to the sort of style of the film. Because I feel like you need to see it if you're a big film fan. And I think it will help me and it'll broaden my horizons in terms of the films I want to see. So Seven Samurai, there we go. So a very interesting mix of films here, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. Seven Samurai on DVD, Dragon Fist on Blu-ray, which looks really cool. Can't wait to get into that. And these Poundland pickups are very interesting as well. Argo, Horrible Bosses, Central Intelligence, the Fantastic Four, and the Wolverine. Wow, there we go. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been Christopher here on CM42 TV. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, do whatever you got to do. Please spread the word. It would be amazing if you could do that for me, please. And you can also check out my podcast. I'll tell you why I'm so flustered today. I'm having this. I'm drinking a can of Red Bull, and I love Red Bull. I don't have it very often, but recently I've been having it a lot more. And I don't need Red Bull. I'm full of life and I'm full of energy anyway. But when I'm trying to do a video, it's like blah, 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 even faster than normal. You can check out my podcast, as I said, The Good Bit, here on CM42 TV. New Avengers episode is out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Podomatic, Pocket Casts. I think on every or most podcasting outlets anyway. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy a great day today, wherever you are around the world. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Bye!